It is.
I understand. But so how would you rate it? I mean, in simple words, I mean, management basically, as you probably know, WorldPay is very proud of theirs, right? And they have this propaganda, I would say, that theirs is better than everybody else's. And the reason they give is that current management, when they spun off in 2009, immediately made technology their first priority, and they made sure that it was a harmonized platform, and so they're claiming that they're lowest cost and that they can acquire other firms much easier because they only have one platform that then they can migrate the targets on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just wonder, whether you have a view on how big of an advantage, if any, is that?
Yeah, so I think, and here speaking specifically really about the Vantiv legacy platform, the one respect in which it's clearly different than everybody else that it competes with is that Vantiv has one integrated issuer and merchant processing platform. And if you look at other merchant processors that compete on payment processors that compete on both sides of the network. So take Total Systems, take First Data as examples, take Worldline. They have different systems that do the issuer processing from the merchant processing. In fact, but in all cases, they actually have multiple systems on both sides, but they don't do it on one system. So, you could say that there's some advantage in that. I think that piece is negligible. It's not something that will cause, so the debit issuer business it's a separate business, and no merchant is going to choose Vantiv because they do the debit processing on the same platform. They don't care.
I get it.
The cost thing, I would say this, that because Vantiv was processing on a single platform, because they are the biggest PIN debit processor, and because if you don't include First Data's joint ventures, they're in the U.S. they're the biggest in terms of processing numbers of transactions. So the more transactions you put on a single platform, the lower the unit cost. And so there's no question that for big merchants, if I'm a bigger acquirer and I'm leveraging a single platform and I'm putting lots of transactions on it, the cost is lower. So that's true, and that's a benefit. The small merchants don't care; they don't see it. They don't see it in terms of pricing. But if I'm Walmart or Safeway or Home Depot or Walgreens, it matters because the Vantiv credibly can say, well, our average cost to process these transactions is a little bit lower than Global Payments, because we do more transactions on the same platform, and the costs that we have to support that are pretty similar. We've got a bunch of people, we've got some software, we've got some data centers, and we may manage them differently than Vantiv, but the core elements are the same. They're doing the same function. They've got a bunch of software. Now, in the case of the acquisitive acquirers, as far as I can recall, all acquisitive acquirers have multiple platforms, and all of them are at some point, they're trying to rationalize them. But the more platforms I have, the more extra people, the more extra data centers, the more extra software I have.
Right.
So therefore, my cost. So First Data, as an example, is a lot bigger than Vantiv if you look at all of its transactions. But it doesn't get entirely the economies of scale from that, because its transactions are spread over multiple platforms. Fewer than 10 years ago, but nonetheless. So I think Vantiv has Vantiv still, and they may change this, but at the end of the conversion process that they're currently going through, they're still going to have at least two platforms. They're going to have the UK platform and the US platform. But so the US platform
that's better. You're saying this is better. This is better than competition. Then that's an advantage they have.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at the end of the day, when they get to a single U.S. platform with all the transactions on it,